All right, everybody, we're gonna try that again. I'm telling you what. All right, let's get everyone a second to get on there. I'm gonna turn this around. It has been funky all day in here. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We got to switch. We turned the Wi-Fi off. I don't know what happened there. It totally washed out. So we had 27 people on. Now we need to let 27 people figure out that that was us. Sound is good. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. Let's see.
What happened to
It's on me, so you can like scratch your face and stuff. All right. Sound is good. Everything is good. All right, now I'm going to turn this around. Let's see. So, there we go. Uploaded. That's helpful. All right. 18 people. Mark is on there. Dan, hello, 21. All right. I think we're good now. Sound is still good. Captain is going to be in this the whole entire time. And I'm sure he'll do something that is completely normal for his well-known exquisite timing. All right. So, it is sort of weird not holding it though.
Yeah.
Feels wrong.
Yeah.
Shush.
So we have a new
gimbal
tripod,
and it's very nice. It's fancy. I'm not sure if it's too fancy.
I know.
It's borderline too fancy. So today we're talking about water chemistry, and I have a lot to say on it. I did a bunch of reading, a bunch more reading, and I've been playing with the Oxidizer. I know we talk about the bend method all the time. I think I figured out why everyone likes that and how to get even better, which is the whole point of today. We're all going to get better. We have lots of questions, and really what the questions sort of show us is that everybody's still sort of lost when it comes to the chemicals. Or not everybody, but a lot. You know, the ones we hear from. There's thousands and thousands of people who don't ever say anything, so they've got it dialed in, and awesome for them. But there are those out there who are still a little lost. So we're going to talk about that. The reason we're over here today is because actually, I'm going to grab this. This feels wrong. It does feel wrong. Okay, sound is not good now. Can't hear you. Sound not good. We can fix that. Too far from camera. Sound, sound, sound. Mary, talk.
Is this any better?
Better now.
Okay.
Now it's good.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
I swear to God, you guys. All right, where can I attach that little guy? So it just needs to hang in there.
Yeah. That's a good spot.
I think that is good right there.
Okay.
Okay, very echoing sound. That sound should be better now. We just put a microphone on there. Darwin, is that better? I don't think this is not perfect.
Well, I mean, we are in a warehouse too.
I know,
so
but we're
it's
always
gonna
in a
be
warehouse.
little bit echoey.
It is good. Thanks, Tom. All right. So, better. Check it out. This is our beloved swim spa. And it's empty. All right? So this guy is going out on Friday. All right? This is going out and being delivered, and we're getting a new one. Time to rotate out. So we cleaned it today. We took the speakers out and scrubbed everything, and it's gorgeous and it's ready to go. And I'll tell you what, Mary, it came out good. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
So, in addition to that, we also thought it would be easier. It is nice walking with the gimbal, I will say that.
That's good.
It will be easier to talk about the filters on the 7.2 because it's just so much easier to actually see.
Right, yeah.
So that's where we are, okay? Filters are right there. This is our...
And again, just so that everyone knows, if you're wondering, this is a Twilight 7.2 hot tub and
Yep.
master spas.
And how's that water look, Mary?
It looks very perfect.
Yes, it does.
Extremely clear.
That it is. All right. So let's see if I missed anything. Better, very echoing sound. I think that was before. Better now. Too far from camera. Sound isn't good at all. Those are all, I think we're all fixed. Captain is my favorite sales dog. Now I spun the camera. That dog doesn't sell anything. He is, I don't know about that. We'll see. All right. Okay, so what do you want to start with, Mare? You're in charge.
I just think maybe we can talk about how we take care of the hot tub,
Okay.
and maybe some modifications if you have a swim spa, what you might want to do a little bit different. And then we can talk about cleaning your filters, and then we'll talk about the questions that we got and any questions that you guys have today.
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you grab a paper towel?
Yes.
Because there seems to be like a smudge right out here. I'm going to spin this around, and I'm going to explain a few things. All right. So, this thing actually has a push button to move it up. It might be too fancy. Hang on. Watch yourselves. Perfect.
Oh
There was a big smudge right on the stupid camera on the front. I wiped the back, not the front. Okay, so I get harassed a lot about the bend method. Let's see if I can get us both in there. It didn't move at all.
I'm here. It's fine.
No, we can just push the button. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's perfect right there. Okay, so we get harassed about, me in particular, the bend method. So I think the reason the bend method came to be, we still don't know who named it, but all it is it simplifies getting clear water. So the biggest problem that we definitely hear about all the time is my water's not clear.
Cloudy. Yeah.
Cloudy water. My water's not clear. And typically what we find the most is that people aren't using enough sanitizer. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Okay, the oxidizer, the non-shock, and we always get the question, what's the difference between the non-shock oxidizer and the sanitizer, when to use which one? So that's what we're going to focus on today. We're also going to talk about the Pier, and we're also going to talk about what?
I don't know. We scroll down. We've got some things coming up. Sorry.
Those are old.
Yeah, but we're getting new ones. Those blue ones.
It is good. I want my water perfect like that. Yeah, now you're talking. Are you guys going to be in Lake Placid this year? No, we're not going to be in Lake Placid. Kona. Let's see.
We have some friends going to Lake Placid.
We're making an SNL-like parody video of you guys. Now that's awesome. Now I want to see.
Me too, because all of our family makes fun of us.
My
and
mother
does these they make fun of us too.
When my mother, I have a video of my mother mocking me talking about swim spas, and it is priceless. It is absolutely awesome. All right. Please cover where the Pier is to be placed on a trainer 15. Is it closest to the panel, closest to the swim jet? Okay. It actually is different. Depends on whether you have master Pier or not. Ooh. Okay. So now, back to we're going to talk about the ozone. We're going to, and I'm going to put it in simple, so that we all grasp it. And some of this, Mary doesn't really care because I take care of most of the water. So, but she should care a little bit. Okay.
Of course I care.
And I bet she knows more than she thinks she does. All right. You just can't be this close to it and not figure out a thing or two. So we're going to talk about ozone, Pier, and difference between sanitizer and non-chlorine shock. Oxidizer, okay? So, first thing, we get everyone, my water's cloudy, my water's cloudy, my water's cloudy. So then the bend method came, and I did this for years and years and years. I never put anything in it but chlorine. It's not right, and we have stated very clearly in the past that it is not Master Spa's position that is correct. Master Spa's official position is that's not correct, okay? I'm a bad kid. I always have been, and I'm going to do it my way. So, and this is one of those things. But turns out, I've been testing more and more, using more and more shock than chlorine, and I like it.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, what? So here's the thing. So this is what we'd like to do.
Bend method 2.0.
Yes, bend method 2.0. But the first thing, and think of it as learning how to do this in stages while having clear water the whole time. Most of the time, people learn this in stages with a bunch of messed up water during the learning curve. If you went straight to the bend method, okay, John will get back to that foam. It could, because the foam could be caused from multiple things. Okay, if your pH and alkalinity are off, you can get foam from that, or it can be from contaminants. So it depends. So now we'll talk about what is called the bend method. That's just chlorine. Every time you use it, put a teaspoon to a tablespoon per person who exits, and you'll be fine. The water will be clear, and it works. It sort of locks in the alkalinity and pH, doesn't climb or rise, and it really, really works well. Okay, so that's the way I've always done it. Now, knowing that Oxidizer does have a place here, a very good and perfect place here, you want to use it sometimes, and we did, just not really that often. Okay, if we're being honest. So not never, but not a lot more than never, for sure. Agree?
Yeah.
So now, if you got a brand new hot tub, people are they're lost at first, and they're scared, and they're nervous, and they're overthinking everything. We see this all the time.
Absolutely.
Test strip, test strip, test strip. I went through 50 test strips in a day. You don't need to do that. So first thing we're going to do is just talk about the bend method a little bit. It's very, very simple, and that's why people like it. The water is always clear, and it's very simple. It's almost mindless. It's sort of mindless. It's mindless.
Yeah.
Now from there, you want to go to adding Oxidizer once a week. And this is all once your pH and alkalinity are in place. So now we're just talking about the Oxidizer. So let's talk about what they do that's different.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
And we can talk a little bit more about pH and alkalinity, but if you are fixing your pH and alkalinity because it's off, then you want to fix alkalinity first.
How do you remember that, Mary?
A before P.
Perfect. See,
and then chlorine. So if you're trying to figure out that, what do I fix, alkalinity or pH first? Fix your alkalinity first,
always.
Then your pH, and then you can manage your chlorine.
Solid advice.
Yeah.
In fact, mandatory advice.
Yeah.
So beyond solid. And she's 100% right. So sanitizer, your chlorine, is going to go in, it's going to kill bacteria. Okay, it's going to kill it. Doesn't really remove it, just kills it. That's the distinction. Okay? The Oxidizer, you put Oxidizer and you use roughly the same amount as you do when you chlorinate. You're going to put that in there, and what that's going to do, that's going to grab onto contaminants, chloramides. It's going to grab onto,
bacteria.
But in particular, it's going to grab onto, contaminants and junk and waste and organics and that. Okay? So then it's going to, and you have to leave the cover open after you oxidize with your non-chlorine shock. And what's happening is it's oxidizing into the air. Okay, it's actually bubbling out and it's going away. So the jets are running, you just shocked it, and it's getting rid of that stuff from the water. So chlorine kills, Oxidizer removes. Think about it that way. That's the easiest way to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Would you say leave it running for 15 minutes?
20 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, 20 minutes for sure. So, and now also you want to leave it open for 20 minutes to save the cover. But if you oxidize with the cover closed, now a lot of times I'm guilty of, I'm in a hurry. We're running out the door, we'll throw chlorine in there, close the cover, and we'll jet. The problem is with the Oxidizer, the stuff can bounce back in. Okay, so you're getting rid of it into the air. That's the whole point of Oxidizer. This is going to be a tongue twister day with the sanitizer, Oxidizer. Say that fast. It's getting rid of it, so the cover needs to be open. Okay, and this is something that clumps the nasties so the filter catches them and the rest. So now, if you were using the bend method, the next graduating is to once a week hit it with the Oxidizer, good amount, 20 minutes open, and then the next method after that is twice a week, and now you're probably in pretty good shape. So that's probably roughly equal parts sanitizer, Oxidizer, and you'd be okay with that. What I have switched to since we had the 7.2 here, it's such an easy test platform, because this is something that I didn't do either, you guys. All I cared about was the water was clear.
Yeah.
And that's all most of our customers care about. They're like, hey, the water's fine, it's clean and clear. Ben said you could go in it, let's go. Well, there's a little bit more in there, and that's what we're talking about now, the next level. Okay, so hit it a couple times a week with the Oxidizer, leave it open, and it's going to refresh that water, it's going to get rid of the nasties, it's going to remove them, and then you're in good shape. So that's the whole thing of it. And I know there's a bunch of questions in there, and we'll scroll back and get to them. I want to talk about a few things first, okay? And I want to put this in a way that is, I'm not a scientist. Mary's a doctor.
Not that kind of doctor.
Let's see, when I use Oxidizer, I see a nasty brown film residue build up around the lip of the tub, doesn't remove into the air. So, Rick, nasty brown residue is probably a contaminant, not something that it's removing. So, like lotions, something like that, detergent.
It could even be some kind of metal that's in your water that it's trying to remove.
For sure. So I've
use a Mr. Clean Magic
I've
erase.
never had that happen once. So actually, you bring up a good point there, Mayor. Not everybody's water is the same.
Right.
So you'll have on the Master Spa Owners Group, and there's people in there who are super helpful and nice, and you have people in there who, when they answer sort of like a beehole. Mike, can I say that?
I think so.
I didn't swear. So, and that's not cool either. You know, and the thing that the know-it-alls need to know is not all the water is the same.
Right.
So you have places that you go that are super high copper content, but no iron. And vice versa. You have places where the pH is totally messed up and in the basement. You have places where the pH is super high in the ceiling. And then it's different to get it right. So something that works for you in North Dakota may not work properly for someone in Massachusetts. The water's different. So don't think you know everything just because you know your water. Okay?
Right.
You definitely don't, and we certainly don't either. But we do know that everybody's water is different. That is a fact. Okay? So different methods for different places. That's for sure.
And there are going to be some different things that different people may need to do when they initially fill their hot tub or a swim spa, depending on the type of water that you have. You know, so some people might need to put a sequestering agent in their water because they have very hard water, and that might not be the case for other people because their water isn't as hard, or they have a softener when they fill it. So again, it's, you know, kind of when you initially get your hot tub for the initial fill, you may need to just figure out what kind of water that you have.
So that's your learning curve, is figuring out your water.
Right.
The methods for what's going on are pretty much the same, but figuring out your water is something that geographically is going to be up to you, and that's where your dealer is going to be able to help you the most, because they're going to know it.
Right.
You know, we know the water in Connecticut. We know the water in New Jersey. Super high copper in northern New Jersey. Green. Comes out green, but it's clear green, so you know it's not scuzz. It's actually copper in that water. And it turns out that near that area there used to be a huge copper deposit, mine, copper mine, copper deposits. So tons and tons of it. Okay. So next thing I want to talk about quickly is the ozone, what it does, how it does it, and then we'll talk about the EcoPure. Okay.
Yep.
Ozone puts O3 gas into the water, and it basically does a simplified version of the same thing your oxidizer is doing. Okay. Or maybe vice versa. But all it's doing, O3 comes out and it's trying to convert itself back to O2. And in doing that, that one radical, whatever it's called, I'm not a scientist, jumps out there and grabs onto something and kills it and goes into the air. That's what it's doing. When you turn your pumps on, most tubs, your ozone is turning off. So when your pumps are on, your ozone is off. It's for when you're not in there. And the ozone is killing that stuff and getting rid of it also. Okay, so that's the whole idea. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to use less chlorine than if you didn't have one, and that is a fact. Okay, you're seeing ozone in homes, in wells, in lots of other applications. Ozone in the air for cleaning the air, all that stuff you're seeing more and more of, and it does work. It's great, super smart, and it works well. Next thing we're going to talk about is the EcoPure. It's a mineral system, the EcoPure mineral system, and I even went so far today to learn how they wrapped the filter, and I don't think we need to get into all that. It's not just a standard filter. It's tightly, like, woven. Yeah. Was that how you said it? Woven?
I think, yeah, but it's wrapped around that.
Yeah, it's wrapped around. Anyway, so it's got copper and it's got zinc. And what's happening, it's putting that stuff in there, and it's controlling algae. It's helping control, bacteria and algae, and allows you to use less chlorine. Okay? So, and it also dissipates and gets rid of chlorine also. So we don't want anyone to smell the chlorine. We don't want, anyone to stink like that. We certainly don't want people just soaking in a bath filled with chemicals. And that's where these systems come into play. So, after really, brushing up on the more hardcore reading end of this stuff, rather than just always just doing it like I did, it certainly seems to me that if you're running an EcoPure, an Ozone, sanitizer and shock, that you have some really awesome clean water, which is, oh boy, he's unhappy about something. What do you hear? We didn't hear a thing, but he hears everything with those ears. So now let's get back to some questions in there. Okay.
And if we don't get to a question, we will come back on later and respond.
Okay.
There's a lot on there.
Yeah, there's a lot on there. Richard Markovich, hey buddy. Suntan lotion, yep, brown. What brand of oxidizer do you use? I don't know. Let's see.
Leisure time?
Protein.
Oh.
Although I think I've got leisure time at my house.
Yeah, I think we just got leisure time.
That's backwards. That doesn't even look right on the camera,
Right.
I'm sure. Protein, leisure time. If you get it from your dealer, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Next question. If free and total chlorine levels are always the same, do you still need to shock?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody needs to shock. Simple as that. It does also work if you super chlorinate. That's one way to get rid of. Probably wasteful. Probably unnecessary to do that.
Does shock affect the pH?
Nope.
No, it does not. Can shocking the water get rid of excess foam?
It depends what's causing the foam.
Right.
So, really what you want to do, if you have foam and it's from contaminants, you want to turn the air off on the jets. You want to get a cup or a bucket or something and scoop out the foam the best you can. And then from there, I'm going to have you slide over just a pinch. That's good. So you want to scoop it out, turn the air off because it'll put more in there. And then you want to make sure your alkalinity is good, your pH is good, and then chlorinate, and then go from there. So the other thing is that if your water's clean and clear, but it smells, you absolutely need to shock. That's what's going to get rid of that stuff. That's the junk in there. Your face is right in half there.
Sorry.
There you go.
So the shock doesn't affect pH or alkalinity, I don't
Nope.
think, right?
Nope. What's the bend method? Chris, the bend method is super simple. It's just chlorine. Every time you use a little bit of chlorine, and it works great. I did it for years and years and years. I do want to start using more shock in there a couple times a week and get rid of the stuff that the sanitizer is killing. I want to use the oxidizer, okay.
We answered that already.
Yep, I got that one. Should the filters be cleaned before shocking? I don't.
We recommend cleaning your filters
Once a month.
once or twice a month, not every time you use the hot tub.
Oh, for sure.
But every time you use the hot tub, you're going to want to either use the
Right.
shock or the chlorine.
Yeah, depending on where you're at in the cycle. So, but I mean, we don't even clean the filters once a month.
Right.
That is the official recommendation.
If we're being honest.
We should be honest.
Yes.
We are not good filter cleaners, but the water. We also don't have lotions. We don't have junk in there either.
Right. And we will show you the filters in
Yep,
here.
we're going to actually
Yeah.
take them out for you
Yeah.
guys. Patty, hello from Texas. Hello, Patty. Jimmy D, what's up, buddy? So John said, I need to figure out how to keep my pH and alkalinity stable. Water is clear but foam. I wonder if your chlorine is just dipping south enough that it's starting to affect your alkalinity and pH a little bit, and that can cause some foam. Okay? So it just doesn't, we don't have quite enough information there to tell you what to do. It could be that.
And even if you're showering, but if you're wearing a bathing suit that you washed in detergent, that could cause foam.
Sure. Or even if they're doing everything right, but the chlorine is just a little low,
Right.
and then it affects the alkalinity and pH. Eventually, it will affect that, and then that'll cause foam. So in that case, yeah, chlorine's probably the answer, but depends. So let's see. How do you get clear water without using chlorine? Ray. We use chlorine. You need a sanitizer in there, so you're either going to want to run bromine or chlorine, and make sure it's dichlor, not trichlor. Okay, actually, you know what? Tell them about the test strips with what happened with your friend there when they weren't working, remember?
Oh, yes.
Tell that story, because that's another thing.
So we had someone who was struggling with their alkalinity and pH and the chlorine, and kept checking the water, and then realized that they had 2 different test strips. And one test strip, one brand of test strips, was saying that the levels were fine, and another brand of test strips was saying that the pH was off, or the alkalinity was off. So we asked, and now I don't remember, AquaCheck.
I was AquaCheck.
Yeah, AquaCheck. I know they have them at Amazon, and it's the 7-point. So it will test 7 different metals or
parameters.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
7 different
things.
parameters.
7 different things.
Elements in your water, and that particular brand is recommended by Spatex.
Yep.
So
she got those,
and once she got them, she was able to figure out exactly what was wrong with the water and fix it.
Right. So it turns out her test strips were just giving her a bogus reading. So that can happen too. Lots of variables here. All right. Northern Missouri, Sue. Jimmy D. Really hard metal protect the sequester, or is that scale defense, or both? Probably the same thing, John. If your water is super hard, you're using your well. Well, actually, you can get super hard water out of city water too, depending on where you are. The sequestering agent will get that junk out of there and strip it out. So you definitely want to use that. Scale defense, I'm pretty sure that's the same thing.
I'm not sure.
So I'm pretty sure.
I know metal. I know the metal protect is the sequestering agent.
Metal out, metal be gone. You know, metal reduce. There's all kinds of metal, and any of them are going to be a sequestering agent. Just read the bottle and make sure if it says for removing minerals, removing copper, iron, and all that junk out of there. Okay. All right. Toronto, Jennifer. Hello. How do I keep the swim spa with chlorine while on vacation? So, Terry, there's a couple things you can do. One, I would probably just clean the filters, turn the temperature all the way down, turn the filter cycles up, and then just, crush it pretty hard with chlorine so you had a bunch in there, and you're not having any contaminants because there's no people in there while you're gone. So it just depends. If it's just a week, you'll be fine with that. If it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks, you may want someone to swing by and just, put a couple ounces of chlorine in there and you'll be fine, okay? But you can adjust those filtration cycles, and it should be pretty easy, okay? I noticed I've been putting more chlorine in the water this summer than we did when the spa was delivered in, so I'm going to let you see if you can get that.
Spring.
My finger, you have to hit the C more, and
Does it burn off faster in the heat?
It does.
Yeah.
So the hotter the water, it definitely burns off a little faster. I don't think it's going to be like so much. Also keep in mind that if you're getting more use now, that will use more chlorine. So, and then also if, let's see, when did they get it?
Spring.
So if you got it in the spring and your EcoPure is 6 months old, it could be time for a new EcoPure, which will absolutely do that.
Sure.
Okay, so you keep that in mind too, because that timing seems about right. Let's see.
Lots of questions today.
Why does temp panel get cloudy, can't read? Judy. Temp panel, I'm guessing you've got a LED that you can't see anymore. There was an issue with Balboa. Get with your dealer and get that replaced for sure. That's a warranty item for sure, Judy, okay? Let's see. Okay. Milta, I think I got that right. And only 2 tablespoons of protein dichlor for trainer 15 ? It never feels enough. I put more, but it's still a bit cloudy. 2 tablespoons for a hot tub. So for a swim spa, you definitely use a little more. I definitely use more than that for my swim spa, here and home. Let's see. Mandy. If swim spa is clear and everything reads good except no free chlorine, is that okay? It is okay because of the EcoPure. So you're right on that wire, which is a great place to be. So what that means is you're doing a great job on the EcoPures, getting rid of the chlorine, the water's clean and clear. So what you can do, make sure you shock it, shock it once a week. That's all. Do the oxidizer once a week, leave the covers open while you shock it, and you'll be great. And if you want to up that chlorine just a pinch from where you're at, you might see it on there, but you're basically at a 0 balance is what I'm guessing, because if the water looks awesome and there's no chlorine reading, you're riding that wire like tightrope. Perfect. Okay. I clean after shocking, so I start the week clean, routine check levels, Tuesday shock, then clean filters. You want to try that? Gotta hit the see more button. Whoa, okay. Mark, that's a big one. Change Saturday 1 tablespoon of bromine granules after each tub use, 2 sets of filters rotated and allowed to dry. Oxidizer every Saturday, water not changed in 5 months but not heavily used. Sounds perfect.
Yeah. I mean, if your water is clean and clear.
I use the Ben method, works great. Jimmy D. Dude, I used it forever. I mean, that's all I ever did. It was fine. And I don't have scales growing on me or anything. pH magic when refilling tub. Is that, I don't know, I don't use it, Judy. pH magic, I'm guessing it just sort of locks your pH in place. With our water here, we don't have big fluctuations, so that for us to get our pH and alkalinity to drop down low, we have to let the chlorine bottom out and go zero, and the water get cloudy, then our pH and alkalinity will drop here. So we don't use that, we just, you know, raise the alkalinity and pH from there, and then chlorinate, and it just clears right up in a day or two. But it does take some time. That's the other thing, guys. Once you start to figure this stuff out and then you go to fix it, it does take time to cycle through there and get that junk out of there. It's not like an hour. People are a little impatient on that. It's not magic. How about hardness and alkalinity? So, Richard, calcium hardness is important because it's going to protect all of your plastics, your plumbing. So you definitely want a test strip like those 7-way, 7 measurement test strips that Mary was talking about is going to test that, and you definitely want your calcium hardness in the correct zone. I'm not sure if you're asking if it affects alkalinity. It's not really been my experience here. Certainly could be with your water. That's not the same. So that I'm not sure, and I'm also not exactly sure what you're answering or asking, but with us here, our alkalinity tends to stay in place really closely as long as nobody's, you know, peeing in there, as long as we don't let the chlorine go too low. Sometimes we go for, you know, Richard, you know our schedule, we go for a while and then we're just like, oh my God, there's no way we're not, you know, so we'll have to have either someone come and bring, you know, Mary's father will come here and hit these, and then, you know, at home, obviously, we've got Beth and the kids, and they can hit that at home. All right. Doesn't matter if I shock it every time, my pH is always high. Had our tub around 6 months and it is always a struggle. Plus it is cloudy. We also get a lot of bubbles after I shock it. Sometimes the water stinks when you open the top. Sorry, too many things. You got a lot of variables there.
When was the last time you changed your water? Could be that too.
Had the tub 6 months. It might be just time for a water change.
Yeah.
And that, you know what, actually.
That's a good,
Yeah, Darwin, that's a good point. If you're on a hot tub, just change the water, you guys. Don't kill yourself over it. Just change the water. It's 300 gallons, 400 gallons. Just change it. Especially if you have city water. It's like $5 worth of water.
We should just kind of show the filters, because we also have the other questions that came in ahead of time, and there's a lot of questions on here.
A lot of them are sort of double, though.
Yeah.
Non-chlorine oxidizer, which had potassium in it, it gave me terrible... rashes. I stopped using it and did not get the rashes. I've seen this complaint on Facebook many times. Sure, Rich, we're all subject to any of that stuff bothering us. Just make sure you're using enough sanitizer too, because sanitizer is what kills the bacteria, and bacteria can cause, irritants as well. So again, a lot of variables in there. What chemical do you use to clean your filters, and how often do you bathe them? We'll get to that when we take the filters out. 2 weeks, no one to check on the spa. Christine, I would lower the temperature all the way, clean the filters, crush it with chlorine, and go and turn the filtration up. You'll be okay. Teresa, hello. Someone answered, what do you do when you go on vacation for 2 weeks? Don't worry, go on vacation for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you get home and you
change
need
the water.
Yeah,
right.
change the water.
Yeah, get back and change the water.
Enjoy vacation,
right,
for
totally,
sure.
Totally worth good
Agree
advice.
with you.
Should we only use the Frog Ease floating device? Frog works great. It's an easy way to do it. With water looking cloudy, it looks great when water is changed. I diligently change filters one a month and use filter clean with Eco bought new filters, Eco Pure weekly chems as per the sheet. Can you help? Ultimately, Jennifer, what we see most, I mean, I don't know exactly what's not, I mean, without seeing the test strips and being there, it's hard for us to answer that like that. But typically what we see is not enough sanitizer. Most people are just not using enough chlorine, whether it was they're just afraid to use more or their salesman told them it would only be, you know, half a droplet full of chlorine once every other year. You just put a little more sanitizer in there and I bet that clears up. Okay. Does it expire after first usage with 2 sets of filters? I keep the Eco Pure when I swap filters. I would use them just the same way, swap them in and out. You know, Eco Pure 6 months is 6 months. Although, what if she takes them out and swaps them? I get it. Good question, Sue. I'm not sure. I'll find out. Sue, we'll get back to you on that. Where does the Eco Pure go in the swim spot? Trainer 15 deep, closest to the swim end. Mary Ruth. Cover starting to rip off, Corey. You know what? Sometimes on the handles, those are big. If you pull on the handles, you'll see a little tear in there. What I do is I put my hand underneath and lift the whole cover up rather than the handle, and totally protects it against that. Best shock for the hot tub. Lots of good brands. Whatever your dealer recommends, Joe, it will be fine. There's none that are just amazing and others don't work. Do you only use one Eco Pure? Zen. Okay, so this is the same question on the Eco Pure. I guess I would just buy one Eco Pure and use that, because you're not going to clean that out with the filter cleaner anyway.
Right.
You're just going to spray that out and rinse the Eco Pure. You don't clean the Eco Pure with the filter cleaner. So I guess that does answer the other Sue. I guess that is the easiest way to do it. Don't buy 2 of the Eco Pure. Just use one and replace it at the 6-month mark. I guess that's what I would do. Although I don't have a backup set of filters. Okay. Shock product. Mark, it's just a non-chlorine oxidizer. Okay. Yes, locks pH. That's the pH. What about using the frog to chlorinate? Absolutely. Just no trichlor.
And if you have a swim spa with soft tread, you need to make sure that you're not using bromine in the frogger.
Good point. Yeah, it will destroy the soft tread. Can I change from chlorine to salt in my swim spa? I would not do that, Charlotte. It will void your warranty. And it's not perfect either. It's just too corrosive. Yeah. All levels are good, but cyanic acid is high. Is that bad? I don't even measure for that, Patricia. So I'm going to go with no. Corey, for cleaning the filter, required to turn off swim spa, or can it be done with it on? So it can be done with it on. The official recommendation is to turn it off, and it's part safety and part so you don't suck debris down into the pumps, and then you have a problem. So you are the governor of your own life. Usually I leave it on, especially on the inside ones, because nothing is going on the outside one. You may want to shut it off, because if a leaf gets sucked down into that pump, it's staying in there. Can't get the temperature down in Florida, you need to roll up a towel and keep that cover cracked open about that far each night, and it'll cool it down. Rich. Recommended for a 15. I don't really measure mine, so I'm probably a terrible person to ask that.
What was the question?
Probably an ounce. I use the top of the chlorine and just eyeball it, and it always seems to work out. But I mean, at least I would say double that for a swim spa.
But we use that 1 ounce scoop.
Is that a 1 ounce scoop?
Yeah.
So okay, so I'm using an ounce then when I do it. Yeah. Is it normal to have chlorine on the lower side using the bend method? Water is fine, no issues. Sarah, yes, absolutely. That's your Eco Pure controlling it, and you don't need a whole lot. Just changed water yesterday to try and start over. Yep.
Sometimes you gotta do it.
Chris absolutely put the spa on hold while cleaning the filters. This is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
This you know what? This is a topic that will never. It's 4:41.
And we still have all those questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a topic that is necessary. Okay. Okay. Do I use a good old homemade filter cleaner? Definitely not.
No.
I use water. I don't even use regular filter cleaner.
We can get to those.
Yep.
We can go back to those.
We're done.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Mary, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to try to get through some of these a little bit quicker.
Some of them we already hit.
So that we can show you the filters also.
Okay.
This is from Ruth in Alberta.
It's on you, Mary.
If I want to keep my hot tub cool in the hot summer months, 76 to 79, do I follow the same cleaning and chemical schedule and chemical balances? Yes, absolutely. Mark in Wisconsin, what's the best way to elevate alkalinity? Is baking soda okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Just plain baking soda, no other garbage in there, because some of them have deodorizers and weird stuff. Plain Jane.
John in Colorado, I think we already addressed your dreaded foam issue. MJ in Virginia, pH and alkalinity seem to be at the normal range. Filters have been regularly changed and cleaned. Even though the water is not clear at all, sometimes even smells pretty bad. Start adding that oxidizer in once a week, and then maybe increase it to twice a week. Just about the same amount that you would of the chlorine. Catherine in Ontario, my pH and alkalinity keep bottoming out. How do I increase them without turning my water and filter a cloudy blue? I've emptied my hot tub twice in the past 3 months trying to get the readings correct. Catherine, try addressing alkalinity first.
Well, the thing is, I think they're both dropping because chlorine is too low.
Okay.
So I would start with that. Go higher on the chlorine, because I know on mine, those both bottom out when the chlorine is at zilch.
Joe in New Jersey, I am placing my Trainer 15D lengthwise against my deck. How much of a gap do you suggest I leave between the side of the spa and the edge of the deck so that I can pop a panel off if needed? The spa will be sitting approximately 21 inches above the deck, if that matters.
Inch?
Yeah, 1 inch. Cindy in Texas, constant foam when turning on the jets. Tried foam away, still foam. What should I try? Cindy, you might want to empty and refill your hot tub.
Definitely refill and start fresh.
Yeah. Gary in Maryland, we talked about that vacation thing. Just hit it hard with chlorine before you go. Turn your temperature down all the way and just adjust your filter cycles to come on more often. Adrian in Massachusetts, I've had green water for over a week in swim spas and have been chasing it with chemicals. When do you condemn the water that is 2 months old? Phosphates are very high, chlorine and free chlorine is above normal, and pH and alkalinity are perfect.
Shock it.
Yeah, start using that chalk. Is it green like murky green? Is it clear green? It's kind of hard to tell.
I would shock that.
Yeah. Brad in Ohio, best routine for shocking the hot tub. We've already addressed that.
Definitely
yes, once a week, and then maybe increase it to twice a week. Should I be concerned?
Like hauling butt.
I'm sorry. Should I be concerned with 10 for total chlorine? Is that safe?
10?
Yeah.
That's high. That's how you want to let that get out of there.
So Brad, start using that non-chlorine shock and not so much chlorine.
Yeah, less than that.
Melody and PA, we talked about the Pier. The Pier is going to reduce the amount of chlorine, and it allows you to use less chlorine because it's going to dissipate any excess chlorine. And then Barbara in Texas, the best way to clean the bottom of my swim spa. A spa vac, there is the suction one, or there is the
Intech.
The Intex one that you can get, again, off of Amazon. And it's
cheap.
It's rechargeable and it is
Works
automatic.
Good. Works great.
Yeah. Okay, so we just
get those
really quickly.
You want me to do it? Or you want to do it?
I'll let Ben get those filters because I know it'll be much quicker if he does.
I don't know if he's gonna.
All right.
Okay, so hold it like that. The gimbal is.
Yeah. All right.
And just turn it slow.
Yep. Okay, so there are the filters here in the Twilight 7.2 underneath your cup holder.
You feel like you're in the way a little bit?
Aw, Captain. Good boy.
So very good. Okay.
Is Oxidizer the same as shock? Yes, Oxidizer is non-chlorine shock. Just one more. Is there a tool to clean the fountain?
You know what? I heard someone say use a zip tie.
Oh, zip
Like a
tie?
zip tie and
Awesome idea.
stick it in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Little white pieces in your filter are just probably...
You know, I saw that, and I was wondering if it was the initial fill.
Yeah.
Because if it's the initial fill, it could be debris from manufacturer.
Could be.
Could be for sure.
Yeah.
We had little white debris in ours
We
from
did.
the book.
Yeah, that's right.
So guys,
I don't
easy,
think it's too much chlorine.
super easy to take these out, unscrew them. Now all we do is we go right over here. I'll do one real quick. I realize that most of the time there's not a sink directly next to the hot tub, but we just rinse them out. This is literally all I do. I rinse them out for 30 seconds.
If you don't have a sink right there, obviously you can use your hose with a bucket. That works really well as well. Ben, can you just address the proper location for the EcoPure filter?
On the 15, it's closest to the swim side.
What if you have Master Pure?
Then the Master Pier can go on. Well, I think it can go on.
Any of them?
Any of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have the diagram. Kirk sent me the diagram somewhere. I'm pretty sure I can go anywhere on the Master Pier, and on the non-circ goes all.
Ah, thank you, Spa Guy Hawaii. It could definitely be sticker residue. We had that issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sexy thing. That's it, guys. Now, the filter cleaner, you're going to need a bucket, but for a simple rinse, you don't need the bucket. You just rinse them out, pop them back in.
And for the EcoPure, really rinse that super gently because you don't want to wash away those, the copper and the zinc that are in there. So if you do rinse it, just have it be very gentle. I got a filter flosser hose attachment.
You know what? I've seen that. It's neat.
Awesome,
yeah. I like that. In fact,
Cool.
if I see one, I'll grab one.
Great idea, Teresa. Thank you. All right. So we are way over on time. Sorry, guys.
You know what? It's not. It's great.
Yeah.
That means this is a topic that we need to do more often.
And we will. We definitely will. And if you asked a question that we didn't address, we'll look through tonight. We will be back in 2 weeks, but it is our final tour location. We will be in Dallas, Texas. We are going to be looking at, we're going to be visiting a Twilight 240, which is just like this corner tub over here in a really awesome location. So we're excited to see that. It's going to be this hot tub right there in Dallas, Texas. So we are excited for that, and that will be on Wednesday, July 20th, 4 o'clock Eastern time. We will be in Texas, so that is Central time. It'll actually be 3 o'clock, but it'll be 4 o'clock normal. Facebook Live on our final tour, summer tour location. So we will see everybody there. Again, if you asked a question that we didn't get to, we will get to it tonight. Yes, Brian, Twilight EcoPure can go on either side. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.